We're going to be spending, Carson, the next few days looking at compound interest because it's by far the most common type of interest out there. Page 511. However, most banks don't compound every year. Why would they? They can charge you more. Most banks will recalculate the interest every 6 months. That would be called semi-annually. Or every month. That would be called monthly. Or every day. That would be called daily. Most banks do not calculate the interest every year. So the title here, Darian, is Compound Interest Where Interest is Not Compounded Annually. The compound interest formula in the previous lesson can be adapted for cases where the compounding does not occur annually. The most common ones are, Zach, semi-annually, twice a year, quarterly, 4 times a year, monthly, 12 times a year. The formula is the same, but we have to modify little I, and we have to modify n, little n. A is still final amount. P is still principal. I is no longer going to be the interest rate. Little I is going to be the interest rate. And can you do me a favor and underline this because it's important? Per compounding period. And n is not going to be the number of years. N is going to be the number of compounding periods. It's easier just to jump into a question. Example 1 says this. If the annual rate of interest is 6% per annum, state the interest rate per compounding period and the total number of compounding periods in each case. In other words, it wants me to state little I and then little n. Okay. Grayson, according to this question, what's the interest rate per annum per year? Nice and loud. Look up, everybody. Grayson, what are the compound conditions in Part A? Compounded how? All of us, let's underline the word semi-annually. Semi-annually means how many times a year, Grayson? Okay, everybody look up. If the interest rate is 6% for a whole year, how much semi-annually? Jay? 3. How can I get that mathematically from 6? Okay, the rule is this. For the interest rate, you divide it by the number of compound periods. So what will I be if we compound monthly? It will be 6 divided by 12. What if we were daily? It would be 6 divided by 360. Whatever decimal is, I don't care, but it would be that. You okay with that? Now, n is also going to be different. Grayson, go back to Part A. How many years is this loan occurring for? Look up. 5. How many times each year is this compounded? Twice. How many times will it be compounded? What's n? 5 times a year, twice a year. Grand total, how many times will the bank crunch the numbers? 10. 10. 10. How can I get a 10 from a 5 and semi-annually? Okay. Really, it's 5 divided by a half or 5 times 2. Dividing by a half is the same as timesing by 2, but what I'm really saying is you divide by the number of periods per year. What would n be 6 years compounded monthly? 72. 6 years, 12 times a year. Those are the tweaks. Those are the adjustments that we have to make. And so now, Ashley, compound, the word compound is a trigger word. It means A equals P bracket 1 plus a lie to the end. But then you got to go scanning for the terms of the loan. Compounded how? That's going to be important. So, $3,000 is invested for 5 years at an annual interest rate of 7%. Complete the table. If the interest is, underline the word compounded. Okay. What if we compound annually for 5 years? How many times, what will, and you can make a little note here, this is little n. What will little n be? How many times will the loan be compounded if it's annually for 5 years? This is meant to be really obvious. 5. What about semi-annually? What will n be? Twice a year for 5 years. 10. Quarterly, 4 times a year for 5 years. 20. Monthly, 12 times a year for 5 years. 60. Okay? Sorry guys, look up. Really it should be 5, 10, 20, and 60 here. What they wanted us to write here is once per year, twice per year, 4 times per year. I should have read the headings properly. That's my fault. So little n is actually this column right here. My stupid move. Sorry, guys. Haven't taught this lesson before. What's the interest rate per compounding period? Well, the first one isn't too bad. It's 7% because it's annually. What will the interest rate be per compounding period if we're semi-annually? How will I calculate it? How will I calculate it? You're right, but how, sorry? So it's going to be 0.07 divided by 2. And you know what? I'm often not going to bother to calculate it. Alyssa, I'll just type that into my calculator for the lie. What about quarterly? It would be 0.07 divided by 4. Whatever the heck that is, Jordan, I don't care. You with me? You writing this down? Good. What about monthly? It would be 0.07 divided by 12. Whatever the heck it is, I don't care. Because a lot of these will be yucky decimals that go on forever. I don't want to have to round off. I'll just write that. Over here in the margin, can you write A equals P bracket 1 plus little I to the n? There's our compound interest formula. How will this formula change from term to term to term to term? First of all, what's the principal? What's P in this question? Sorry, what? Okay, so let's put a little 3,000 in the front of the formula each time here. That's not going to change. And I apologize, I'm having to write small to fit this in. And it's going to be bracket 1 plus, bracket 1 plus, bracket 1 plus, bracket 1 plus. What's going to change here, Pam, is little I, depending on the terms, and n, depending on the terms. What's little I in the first situation? 0.07. Annually. And what's n? 5. On your calculator, can you go 3,000 bracket 1 plus point, well, can you type this? 3,000 bracket 1 plus 0.07 to the 5th power. What will the amount be? I get $4,207.66, 4,207.66. What if we calculate interest semi-annually? Well, if it's an investment, what that really means is you'll make more because they're running the numbers more often. It's going to look like this. 3,000 bracket 1 plus 0.07 divided by 2. And what will n be? Not 5. 10. it's going to be 1 plus 0.07 divided by 2, close bracket, to the 10th power. And I get $4,231.80. $4,231.80. You can see this person's making about 16 extra bucks. A little more than that. A little less than that. 14 extra bucks, give or take. What about quarterly? Well, again, little I is going to be 0.07 divided by 4, quarterly. What will N be? 5 years divided by, times by 4, 20. It's going to be, you know what? I think I can backspace and edit. Divided by 4. And it's going to be compounded 20 times. 5 years, Rachel, 4 times a year, 20 times. And now it's 4,244.33. Now, compared to the original amount, almost 30 bucks more, which is great if you're investing, which is bad if you're a loan. So if you have a loan and you take it out from the bank, the more often they compound it, the worse for you, the better for them. Moral of the story, Junker, read the terms of the loan. Read the fine print. The last one is going to be 0.07 divided by 12 in brackets, and it's going to be 60 times. 12, 60 times. Well, now this person's going to be earning $4,252.88, 4,252.88. Now we're about 45 bucks more than we started. Now 45 bucks, Ashley, not much, but if you're talking like a $400,000 loan for a mortgage, it's going to add up. It's going to add up. We can also use our TVM graphing calculator, so get those out. Do you have your graphing calculator here? Okay, that one will sort of work, but where's mine? Okay. Yours has a TVM solver as well. I think you press the apps button. And then I think it has it. I don't know. So, there's a weird Oscar software glitch in these. First of all, remember, P/Y represents the number of payments made to the investment or loan. For questions with no payments, make P/Y the same as the compound period per year value. For questions with payments, the P/Y value is equal to the number of payments made in 1 year. We're going to start looking at stuff with payments in a second. Consider the compounded quarterly part from exercise 2. $3,000 is invested for 5 years, 7% compounded quarterly. What would I enter? First of all, why does N equal 5 times 4? What's N? It's not the number of years. This is the number of compound periods. So it's not the number of years, it's the number of years times how many times per year. Okay? Why does my present value equal negative 3,000? Negative 3,000. Why does it equal negative 3,000? This is because the bank will be paying me. The bank borrowed money from me. I invested with the bank. Why does payment equal 0? Because I'm taking all the money at the end. I'm not accepting payments along the way. Okay? So no monthly payments. Why does P/Y equal 4 and C/Y equal 4? Okay, we said this. First of all, this equals 4, sorry, let me try that again. The reason C/compound periods per year equals 4 is because it's quarterly. If it was monthly, Brianna, what would compound periods per year be? Not a 4. If it was monthly, what would we put there? 12. If it was daily, what would we put there? 365. If it was semi-annually, 2, twice a year. You okay with that? Now, the reason this equals 4 is because of that strange glitch in the software. If there's no payments to get the right answer, we just have to make P/Y the same as C/Y. Sorry. I wish you could put a 0 there, but you can't. The software will get a glitch. Let's enter these values in. So let's go to our solver. N is 5 times 4. And the nice thing is I can actually type that in. Now, the interest rate, we don't have to divide for the interest rate. We can just put the 7 in there. On our calculator, we don't have to divide it by 4 for quarterly. Negative 3,000. Payments 0. I'll put a temporary 0 for the final value because I have a number there and I don't want it to gum things up. How many payments per year? Well, it's 4 compound periods per year, so there's going to be 4 payments per year. How can I find the final amount? Which of these is the final amount? Final value is the term they use. So FV, and I get $4,244.33, which I'm pretty sure is what we said for quarterly. Okay? So, yay, it works. So let's use our TVM solver here. Minuet would like to invest money so that she will have $9,000 in 5 years. What's that $9,000, the starting amount? It's the ending amount. So I'm going to let my final value be negative 9,000. Why negative? Because the bank's going to be paying me money. What are the terms of this loan? Compounded how? Underline that, please, because that's going to change the rest of the numbers. N is going to be 5 times 4. I is still going to be 2.75. I don't have to adjust that. The calculator does the dividing by 4 for me, which is nice. How many compound periods per year? What's C/Y? Compound periods per year. Zach. And as a weird software glitch, we have to put a 4 there if we're not making any payments, which we're not. Put zeros in there temporarily. So for me, this is going to look like 5 times 4 or 20. 2.75, put a temporary 0, put a temporary 0. I want to end up with negative $9,000, and it's going to be 4 and 4. What do I want to find? Which of these is the initial investment? What does the PV stand for? Present value. Present value. So if I hit F3, I better start out investing $7,847.50. 7,847.50. some more terminology. Annuities. An annuity is a series of equal payments made at regular time intervals. So now we're going to start to muck around with that number of payments per year. There are different forms. Regular savings plan, for example, can be an investment annuity. You get interest every month paid into your account. Paying off a loan, next lesson, or a mortgage with regular payments is a form of an annuity. Or retirement income. People get their pension plan, Darian, their pension income, they get that every month or every 15 days, depending on how they're set. That is a form of an annuity. We can use the TVM for basic annuity investment applications. Now, because it involves making periodic payments, this time the P/Y value is equal to the number of payments made in 1 year. Payments per year. Unlike questions with no periodic payments. The present value may be 0 or maybe not. If the present value is 0, it indicates that there's no initial amount to start out, but that there are regular periodic payments. For example, if it's a loan, it means, Chelsea, you didn't put a down payment down. You borrowed everything, no initial value in the loan, and you're paying the whole thing off. Then that would give you a present value, Rihanna, of 0. Okay? If it indicates a number other than 0, it indicates that an initial sum of money was invested or borrowed together with regular periodic payments. So here's a problem. Byron invests $600 in the savings account quarterly. If the account pays interest at 7% per year, compounded quarterly, what's the value of the investment at the end of 3 years? Why would this be considered an annuity? Regular payments. If we wanted to solve this using our TVM solver, why is N 12? I thought it was 3 years. Quarterly. Okay? So why does N equal 12? 3 years, quarterly. 3 times 4. Why does the present value equal 0? We're starting out with nothing. His first payment is going to be the first amount of money in the investment. Okay? What is the payment value? What's the PMT? What's the payment value? Read the question. What's PMT? What's the payment value? $600. Okay? Except it's going to be negative 600. Why negative? Because we are putting money in. We are losing money while we're putting it in. Why does PY equal 4 and CY equal 4? Because the payments are 4 times a year and the compound period is 4 times a year. So what's the value after 3 years? If I go to my TVM solver, exit, N is 12 at 7%, start with 0. I'm putting in $600 a month, so I'm losing $600 to invest it. I'll put a temporary 0 for final value, 4 times a year payment, 4 times a year compounded, and I'd like to find final value. Lo and behold, I get $7,935.06. $7,935. Is that what you guys got as well? So let's look at 2 options. Banker bill. Is this the last one? Yes, it is. Banker Bill wanted to set up a fund for his granddaughters, Becky and Bonnie. Okay. We have 2 choices. $2,000 will be invested on each birthday between age 27 and age 64 inclusive. The money will stay in the account until age 65. Or, option B, $2,000 will be invested in each birthday between the ages of 19 and 26 inclusive. The money will stay in the amount. Money will stay in the account until age 65. Both get 10% per year, compounded annually until age 65. Becky recognized more money will be invested here because it's going to be $2,000 a year, but only starting at age 27. Bonnie recognized, hey, although we're not putting as much money in overall, we're starting sooner. Which one's better? Which one's better? This is good financial math, okay? So, Becky is going to go with option A. Let's put a little BE right there. Let's put a little BO right there for Becky and Bonnie. Part A says, how many payments were made on Becky's behalf? Well, when did the first one start? Age 27? When did it finish? Age 64? How many payments is that? How can I figure that out? Can you guys do that, please? So, 37 payments. How much money was invested for her then? Well, how much money was invested each time? 2,000, so it's going to be 2,000 times 37. $74,000? How many payments were made on Bonnie's behalf? Now, it does say, Dom? It does say, can all of you underline this word here, the word inclusive? That means including 19 and 26. So you ready? Count with me, folks. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Even though 26 take away 19 is 7, how many payments actually? Huh? And in fact, you know what? 37 is wrong as well. It's 38 because that was inclusive, and it's 8. It's one more than when you subtract them. So that means that this is wrong as well. Instead of 2,000 times 34, it's 2,000 times 38, which is $76,000, right? And for Becky, it's 8 times 2, for Bonnie, it's 8 times 2,000, or $16,000. Who's getting more money? Well, it all depends. It depends on who's got the most at the end after the interest accrues. So let's fill some of this stuff in. For Becky, what was the interest rate for Becky? 10%. What's N? 38. What are we starting with? Nothing. What's the payment? Negative 2,000. Why negative? Because we're adding money in, we're removing money from us and putting it into the bank. Final value, don't know. How many payments per year? 1. How many compound periods per year? also compounded annually, 1. Can you use that and figure out at the end of age 65, how much will Becky have in the bank? $38, $10, $0, negative $2,000, temporary 0 there, 1 and 1. Final value, you get $728,000 and $728,086.87.
Yes.
72808. Okay, 728,086. 728,086.87. Now, why do they have 2 boxes under Bonnie's name here? Why don't they just have 1 box? Darian. Oh, that's part of it. But also, once we get to age 25, are payments still, is it age 25? Once we get to age 26, are payments still being made? So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how much she gets from age 16 to 26, and then it's going to be from age 27 to 65. 19 to 26, thank you. I'm going from memory here. Okay? So for Bonnie, N was 8, 10%, still starting out with 0, still dumping in $2,000. Still one payment. On her 26th birthday, how much will be in there? 8, 10, 0, negative 2,000, put a temporary 0 there, 1 and 1. On her 26th birthday, it's going to have $22,871.78. You okay with that? Oscar, you good with that? Now what? Now what she's going to do is she's going to put it, she's going to put it in for the present value of a new loan with no payment. So now it's going to be negative $22,871.78. Still 10%. How many years now? Well, 65, take away 27 plus 1. Which is what? 39? Final value, I don't know. How many payments per year? Sorry? Well, it's 0 and 0. Oh, but I can't put 0 payments. I got an error. You know what? It's being compounded once per year. So if there's no payments, I make P/Y and C/Y identical. That's just a software glitch, both on the TI and on the Casio. By the way, I'm guessing the reason you have to do that is somewhere it divides by P/Y, and you can't divide by 0. So now, let's see if she actually ends up with more money after 39 years than her sister. Negative $22,871.78. No payment. Temporary 0. 1, 1. Oh! Significantly more. Yes? 941,054.31. 941,054. Which investment was the better option? Okay. What conclusion can you draw from this class example? Matt, what does every exponential graph look like? Or what Bonnie did by starting her investment sooner, she got to the really, really steep part of the exponential growth curve faster than Becky did. And that final few years, if you actually graph this year by year, you would see it's only in those final 3 or 4 years where she shoots off the chart past her sister. Homework. Number 1. Two is good. 3 is good. 4 is good. Number 5, what are they asking you to find in number 5? So put a temporary 0 in for the letter I, and then you'll hit the whatever line, I think it's F2 or F3 lines up with the interest rate. You can find any one of these. So 5 is good. 6 is good. 7, they want you to find the length of the investment. They want you to find N. That's fair game. 8 is good. 9 is good. 10 is good. So far I've assigned big chunks, I know. You got lots of time and you can get this done in class. By the way, you need to kind of practice getting used to the calculator, getting used to the financial solver. Yeah, sure, 11 is fine. Oh, heck. Just 'cause I heard someone complaining. Let's do them all.